really
Yes,
excited.
yes, because already we have the first AI school, first AI university without teachers, and the students know they're scared, they're afraid. They always ask if this will replace teachers.
Really excited.
So we have the first AI school, first AI university. Let's see.
So through your presentation, I think I will have better answers to give to my students.
Yes,
So
yes,
they
I will
even
give
ask me
some
also
tips.
with AI
Yes,
tools, what is right, what is wrong. Yes,
exactly.
yes,
So we'll give suggestions how we can balance actual automation with ethical
correct,
dimensions,
correct.
human dimensions.
Yes.
My slot is 1 hour, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tarun? Okay, okay, okay. So we have plenty of time.
At what time we'll start? The from that time to your end of the slide will be 60 minutes, ma'am. 1 hour.
Actually, I will 1 hour, full hour. When do you want me to finish?
Actually, we had scheduled by 7 o'clock, ma'am. So already
Okay.
7 p.m. here, but I'm waiting for some more people to be joined. So that's why 5 to 10 minutes we'll wait. So if suppose we'll start by 7:15 here, you'll be given up to 8:15, ma'am. So afterwards, 30 to 40 minutes will be the interaction and the QA session.
So
Okay.
you are from Greece, is it?
From
You
Greece.
are from Greece?
Yes, yes. From Greece.
Okay,
from
which
Athens.
part of Greece you are from?
The capital, Athens.
Oh, you are
Capital
from
of
Athens,
Greece.
Athens
Yeah.
itself. Okay.
Yes. And the climate change is visible here because we have for the first time water shortage.
You have to speak a little
authorities.
bit. You have to speak a little bit louder. I can't hear.
Yes, yes, yes. Wait a minute.
I have a hearing problem.
Yes. We have for the first time water shortage in Greece, and because of the temperature, we have very high temperature, 45 degrees.
Okay.
And authorities tell us that we have water only for 2026, not for 2027. So, no, there is a big problem here. And anything which is related to climate change is important.
Well, I visited a few places in Greece. I have been to Athens about 3 times, and then I was in Crete, Heraklion, and I was also in the Salonika, Asia Minor. There, and one more place, of course, Delphi.
Oh,
There is the Oracle of Delphi and all they say.
Delphi. So someone told you about Delphi,
Yeah,
obviously.
I
It's
have
not
been
an
there.
accidental place.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, in Heraklion, I have a very good friend. He is a professor. Now he retired. I'm also retired. He's a professor of physics. Kyriakides is a very good friend of mine. And in Salonika also there is one Papadakis or something, another friend. And I had another classmate actually in England who was actually your Greece Acropolis motor racing car driver a long time back.
So you visited Greece recently or many years back?
Yeah, officially, I visited a lot of times. As I said, Heraklion, we were there for NATO summer school. I was one of the speakers, summer school. There we spent about 2 weeks' time. Same thing in Asia Minor, that Salonika. I was there for 2 weeks. In Athens, one time I was there for 4 days, and other times 2-3 days. And there is one place we just visited, Katerini, where there is a on the mountains and the Adriatic Sea. I have been there just as a visitor, just to visit that one. The only thing that I remember, and I tell all my friends, the beauty of pomegranate tree I saw only in Greece, and with a full of red flowers and huge pomegranates hanging. In fact, the houses are also like in India, they will have a parapet wall. So inside the plant is pomegranate, and it will come out, and then on the street you can see huge pomegranates hanging around. That I used to tell that one.
Now, unfortunately, the majority of our forests are destroyed because of the fires and arsons, and we want to install wind turbines, and this is destructive. Anyway, we will see.
Let us wait for 5 more minutes, ma'am. I request anybody, any others also, please interact.
Quickly, everybody introduce yourself to the speaker. She's from Greece. She will tell about herself in a minute. My name is Srinivas Rao. I'm a retired engineer and a scientist and a professor. And I live in United States, just about a few miles from Washington, D.C. So my expertise have been in materials engineering and biomedical engineering, these sort of things. Next one, please. Please don't wait time. Just please quickly introduce yourself.
Good evening, all of you. I'm Dr. Madhu Sharma from Haridwar. I'm assistant professor in Department of Botany, and as well as I'm director in self-financing scheme. This is just my brief introduction.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Rajeshwari. I'm from Karnataka basically, and I belong to Department of Life Sciences. I'm working as an assistant professor, and my research expertise is in phytochemistry, oxidative stress, neurowellness, and these days I'm inclined also towards upcycling agricultural waste to develop functional foods. So this is a brief introduction. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Surya Narayana. Yesterday, I have given a 1 hour class on project management. I am a thermal engineer, retired, and presently settled at Hyderabad, India. I am expertise in construction and operation and maintenance of thermal power plant. Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And as usual, everybody know I'm Dr. Aruna, CEO Sidvi Foundation, and it is my passion, and my profession is working as an assistant professor in engineering chemistry from State University of Andhra, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam. It is nearby Visakhapatnam. Thank you so much, and we are very blessed to have all of you. I could see the shiny stars on my screen. All stalwarts are here, moving encyclopedias, and I myself can feel proud that Asetu Himachal, it is achieved by Sidvi Foundation. Like here I could see from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, all over participants and presenters and speakers also there, not only from India, from abroad also. Because Sari is from USA and you are from Greece, and somebody else are from some Ghana, African countries also. They have been joined with us, ma'am. So since last 3 to 4 years, I could able to achieve this. And here itself, I could see Dr. Shamim Akhtar ma'am is from Kashmir. And I think somebody else about to join from Kanyakumari. So that's why I can say that it is Asit Himachal from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Siddhi Foundation had spread its exploration. Thanks a lot, ma'am. This is because of all your cooperation and all your blessings. And the name itself coined as Siddhi Vinayaka, Lord Siddhi Vinayaka. He is the unseen force behind achieving this. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Next one, please introduce yourself quickly because the time is short and we have to the program.
Yes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes more. Sharp 7:15 we'll start ma'am's session. So meanwhile, in these 5 minutes, I request you please introduce to the speakers.
I am Dr. Deborah Paripurnam, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Nada Saraswati College of Arts and Science, Theni. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Next. About the speaker, Aruna is going to introduce, so we will know about herself and the talk.
Yeah.
So you guys don't waste your time and introduce. If you don't want, I can't say anything, but this is how everybody, a person from Greece will know who you are. And at least to show your face, she will also enjoy looking at your face. So don't be shy.
Okay, yes, of course. Actually, I'm Dr. Rania Lampu. I'm from Greece. I'm a global academician and a STEM teacher and ICT teacher trainer, researcher in cognitive neuroscience mostly, and in sustainability issues. Peace Ambassador, and the last years I'm working at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, the Greek Ministry of Education, and the Greek Astronomy Space Company as STEM teacher. And I'm planning also to come to India because I'm involved in a space program of ISRO, of India Space Research Organization, which involves girls in STEM. And what we will do, we will build, we'll be 2 weeks in Chennai. We will build CubeSats, nanosatellites, which will be sent to the moon, the Chandrayaan 4, the space mission, the next mission 2027. So 108 countries are involved, and 108 ambassadors with the best student for each country, one student from Greece. We will go there for 2 weeks and we will get training and we will build these nanosatellites. So I'm very excited. It will be my first time in India. I visit, and apart from this, I have designed many projects, STEM projects, which were implemented with the privileged students in Africa and Asia. So I'm focusing a lot on these vulnerable groups. I'm teaching here also to refugees, to children with special education needs, to children in oncological hospital. Many international projects which always focus on sustainable development goals, more humanitarian goals. One was about water, the other one was about food, the other one was about gender-based violence in Nigeria. So a lot of things. From 2020 till now, I have have delivered over 3,500 lectures because every day I have 3-4 lectures. So yes. Dr. Rajesh, yes. If you notice my social media, so you will notice that every day 3-4 lectures. So 3,500 I have crossed this. Yes. And everything for free. I give for free everything. This is the meaning, to give free quality education to everyone. This is the meaning, the humanitarian aspect.
There is one minute left before we start. Anybody want to introduce yourself? Please introduce. Just 1 minute is left. I'm looking at my clock.
Dr. Rajneesh Sharma, sir.
Yes.
Are you do you wish to interact, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Dr. Rajneesh Sharma, Assistant Professor, Journalism and Mass Communication from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. So I'm eagerly waiting for attending this 7 days lovely program, Think Beyond. And I look forward for some kind of a thoughts and perspective from you guys. Thank you very much.
I think we can start, Aruna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And with the kind permission of all the stalwarts and the speakers, guests, I wish to start this program now. A very warm welcome to one and all whomever joined over here in this auspicious evening for the third day of our 7-day lecture series, Think Beyond. So on this juncture, I wish to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Rania Lamho. Ma'am is a multi-awarded STEM instructor and researcher, global educator, ICT teacher, trainer, and international keynote speaker, author, and global peace ambassador in Greece. Currently, ma'am is working at the Greek Ministry of Education at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, where she writes STEM projects for Greek schools, and she is also a STEM instructor at the Greek Astronomy and Space Society, annex of Selmas and Pyrrhus. She has been awarded many national and international prizes, over 200, and she is a Global Teacher Award 2020, 21, and 22 also, serially, and that is from AKS Awards. And she is a winner and a Global Teacher Prize finalist in 2019 Workey Foundation. And ma'am has been selected as Global Icon 2020, featured in Fashion Vista magazine. And among the top 10 women entrepreneurs featured in Fortune, among the 100 most successful women in business. And it is featured in an Amazon book by Global Trade Chamber. And among the top 10 CEOs of the year 21-22 by Dizzy Shocks and Indian Alert, ma'am also features in the books 30 Shining Stars of the World and Hidden's Book 2023, Queen's Book 2021, 22, 23, and 24, and Homser Global Women Book 2023 by Homser Media Group. And ma'am is in many other, ma'am has many other publications also. And ma'am promotes a STEM vision by introducing STEM in astronomy and physics projects and combines STEM with language teaching. She is a founder and international coordinator for many innovative international projects that focus on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Ma'am is also an author of scientific books for kids, and she collaborates with many international organizations. And ma'am has delivered over 3,500 lectures and training sessions at international events so far. And she is a social activist and a member of the educational committee of the Ecomedal Delphic Union in collaboration with Harvard University. She is also international ambassador of volunteerism and education of the Greek Academy of Volunteerism, Help Hands. Ma'am has received many humanitarian and peace awards from international humanitarian organizations. She is an editorial board member of many journals, and ma'am has presented her research in numerous international conferences, and she has published work in various journals. Apart from all these things, she is very down to earth and very friendly. And whenever I give any message and I give any proposal, immediately ma'am accepts it without any deviation. And she is very sharp also and on time, punctual. So ma'am, we are very eager to hear from you, and we need to learn many things from you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and accepting our proposal to be as a speaker of this wonderful program. Thank you, ma'am, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Warm greetings from Athens, here from Greece. It's a great honor and pleasure to be invited to this 1 week in the National Lecture Series, Think Beyond, and I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all organizers of SIDFI Foundation, the SIDFI Society for Research and Development, and of course, I would like to thank you for the kind invitation and the beautiful introduction. My topic today will focus on next generation AI tools in research and modern academia. I think it's the need of the hour to discuss about these issues. All scholars are interested in this. And before starting sharing my presentation, I just want to highlight that AI has emerged now as a groundbreaking tool that is revolutionizing how we approach research, how we analyze data, how we make discoveries. And AI now is not just a tool, we could say that it's becoming a critical partner in modern research because it offers the promise of making research faster, more accurate, more inclusive. Of course, as exciting as these tools are, it's also important to be mindful of the ethical, responsible, and wise use of AI in research because questions of data privacy, intellectual integrity, bias, all these remain key considerations as we adopt these technologies, and that's why today's discussion will also focus on this responsible use of AI in order to ensure that it serves as a tool for progress and not as a source of new challenges. The first part of my presentation will highlight all the advantages and all these amazing tools that we can leverage in order to enhance academic writing. And the second part will focus on how AI can help us, can assist researchers in all stages of the research process, from the brainstorming, the research hypothesis, until the publication and the writing of our thesis. So I will start sharing my presentation. I think for scholars will be interested in this. And let me see. I don't know if it's visible now. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And can you see also the change of slides?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So according to Max Tegmark, human life is defined as a process that can retain its complexity. It can replicate and develop through 3 stages. The first, the biological stage, where humans are evolved, the hardware and software of humans are evolved, and the cultural stage 2.0, when humans can design the software through learning, and the technological stage 3.0, where humans can design their hardware as well, becoming the master of our own destiny. Our intelligence is what makes us human. AI is extension of this quality. The main characteristic of AI is what we call predictability, because it is difficult or impossible to predict what effects this technology will have on societies, on individuals, on the environment, etc. And I'm saying this because nowadays a very important topic which concerns also environmental studies, and I'm saying this in order to motivate the scholars, is the environmental footprint of AI. Because you know that every time we use ChatGPT in these tools, we consume immense amounts of water, immense amount of energy. This means that the data centers of AI, they're not sustainable. So this is a big problem and an underexplored area of research. And that's why I invite everyone to focus on this. Maybe in another webinar, we can organize a topic on this, environmental footprint and AI. So the fear of AI usually has to do with how artificial intelligence can replace workers. Already this is happening. Every day we see companies which fire employees. We have seen, for example, the founder of Meta Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who said that now 99% of his programming activities will be done very soon by AI. So the future of a programmer It's very uncertain. The fear of misuse of AI, how these tools could be used, for example, in wars or in bad purposes, and of course, the fear of superintelligence that finally humans will become the servants of technology. So all these topics, areas that could be explored from scholars, AI, environmental footprint that I mentioned before. And we have already the first AI school in UK, already the last year, the first teacherless school, which has sparked debates, of course, because it's both promising and scaring. The first AI university in Kerala in India, and the first AI school also in India, school teacher in India. So you can understand that it's something which is already happening. The problem is how we can embrace all these new breakthroughs. So what about research? In research, we have the case of the issues of quality assurance. Especially we talk about data. The black box dilemma. What is the black box dilemma? Is the major challenge of machine learning, because these machine systems jump to conclusions without explaining how. I mean, we don't know the inner processes of of what we get, of the conclusions that these systems give us. So the black box has to do with lack of transparency. The lack of transparency is one of the major challenges of machine learning and AI. The question of bias, we will discuss later about this, and the fair access to data, because more and more companies now control large amounts of data, Amazon, Google. So we talk about the problem of democratization of data. According to recent studies, there is a decline in research productivity worldwide. That's why policymakers try to improve the quality of research and of higher education by introducing these AI tools. So definitely AI in research could improve the quality of data that's collected. We're going to explore about this later. This could support learning between humans and machines. We can leverage new data sources like social media. We can diversify engagement opportunities, involve more and more groups on this. And finally, this has to do with innovation, of course. So finally, AI could liberate time, will free up time for researchers. We can increase scientific reasoning. It can enhance diversity, can promote what we call decentralization of science. Remember what was happening in the past, how many years researchers needed in order to conduct a research, how many years they needed for literature review, for example, or for data analysis, for data collection. Now this is happening in very, very, very fast, we could say. And this means that we can reconfigure, we reconstruct the whole organization and conditions of the science base. So how this can help scholars at every stage, because in the lab, for example, AI tools can be used to automate tasks such as data collection and analysis. It can free up, they can free up researchers to focus more on more creative and strategic work. This can help researchers to brainstorm, to write and edit their works. They can also be used to generate citations, to create bibliographies, to check for plagiarism, so it will help us write actually a research article. These tools can be used also to help researchers to find relevant journals, submit their papers, track their progress through the publication process, so it can help us publish in high impact factor journals. The streamline experimentation, because this can assist in design experiments, optimizing parameters and automating data collection, saving time and reducing human errors. Advanced data analysis, because these tools provide a sophisticated algorithm for data analysis, enabling researchers to uncover patterns, identify trends, and derive meaningful insights from complex data sets. And as we're going to see, this will help us to conduct comprehensive literature reviews, generating summaries, and organizing references, facilitating the writing process. So, of course, with our thesis, the general publication, we can identify suitable journals, check on manuscript compatibility, provide language editing suggestions, and this improves, of course, the chances of successful publication. So we can organize our research, we can generate ideas, we can write a clear, concise argumentation, and on all these stages in experimental design, in peer review also, in publishing, in hypothesis generation, in testing, we have also collaborated tools now that which bring together researchers from different countries, and this way we have exchange of different perspectives. So the first part will focus on writing. Because now these tools, for example, language models can assist in brainstorming ideas for academic papers by suggesting relevant topics, highlighting emerging trends, or identifying underexplored areas of research based on current literature. So AI can help refine research questions by synthesizing existing research, identifying gaps, and suggesting questions that are both innovative and relevant. These tools can quickly, of course, scan vast data sets, such as Google Scholar or PubMed or academic journals, and summarize existing literature on a specific topic, making it easier for researchers to understand the current state of the field. AI tools can automatically identify key papers that should be included in the literature review and even extract critical information, such as research methods or findings or conclusions. Researchers can use tools like Semantic Scholar or Connected Papers, a great tool to visualize how academic papers are connected and identify influential works in their area of interest. For thesis or argumentation, this can help researchers in structuring their arguments and refining the logic of their paper. So it can suggest coherent ways to organize key ideas, identify potential areas where more evidence or explanation is needed. It can generate hypotheses based on a given data set or set of research questions, helping the researcher to explore various potential angles for the paper. And if, for example, a researcher is developing a thesis on the effects of climate change on agriculture, AI could generate a variety of subtopics, for example, economic impacts or adaptation strategies or policy responses, and suggest ways to integrate them into the main thesis. For writing support, amazing tools like Grammarly, ProWriting Aid can help researchers with initial drafting of papers by suggesting sentence structures, refining the clarity, and enhancing overall readability. So AI-based writing assistants can provide content generation support by expanding on the initial ideas, proposing relevant academic language, and even providing paragraph-length drafts based on the specific prompts. For data interpretation, because we can analyze complex data sets and generate visualizations such as graphs, tables that can be included in academic papers, we have amazing tools like Tableau, R, Python libraries, which can quickly analyze data and suggest how best to represent our findings in visual formats. And with citation, three most popular tools, Zotero, EndNote, Mendeley, can help researchers manage references and generate citations in the correct academic format. So these tools can automatically suggest relevant references based on the content being written, ensuring that the researcher is up to date with the most current and relevant literature. For language tone, it's important because AI can help us adjust the tone, even the tone of our writing, to be more formal or more academic or suited to the target general conference. It can suggest revisions for improving clarity, coherence, and flow of arguments. It can also offer language translation services for researchers working in multilingual contexts, helping to reach a broader audience and communicate findings more effectively. For plagiarism, we have amazing tools like Turnitin or Copyscape, which can help researchers ensure the originality of the writing by scanning the drafts or similarities with published content. And for time management, we can manage now our writing workflows by setting deadlines, reminding us our progress, and suggesting tasks in order to complete our tasks more, of course, in more efficient ways. So, of course, interactive Q&A, because we can engage in question-answer interactions, helping this way researchers refine their ideas or clarify doubts about specific academic topics. So, this can play a transformative role in our academic writing process by assisting researchers with brainstorming ideas, with generating initial drafts, by organizing literature reviews, by analyzing data, managing citations. So if we automate these routine tasks with suggesting improvements, this can provide also real-time feedback. AI can save valuable time for researchers, and this could enable to focus more on the creative, critical aspects of their work. And also, these tools make the research process more collaborative, as I mentioned before, more efficient, more structured, helping researchers to produce high-quality academic papers. So, in what ways here we can say about what we can say about prediction? The analysis of citation patterns already. This helps us with predicting the influential works. Not only we are able to know what are the influential works nowadays, but also this helps predict the influential works, topics and research areas in the future. So this helps us with the analysis of citation patterns and trends, because AI can check citation patterns over time to detect papers or topics that are gaining attention at an accelerated rate. By analyzing the speed and volume of citations for recent publications, AI models can actually identify which research areas are seeking an uptick of interest, even before they reach broader recognition. This is very important. What are the techniques that are used? Machine learning models such as time series analysis, clustering algorithm, topic modeling, all this can be used to analyze citation velocity. What is citation velocity? It's the rate at which papers are being cited, and identify which areas of research are emerging based on citation spikes or shifts. The topic modeling and text mining, it's important because AI can actually analyze the textual content of academic papers to identify keywords, phrases, and topics that are becoming more frequent in the literature. Topic modeling techniques like latent direct allocation can be used to cluster research papers into distinct themes, revealing which topics are gaining prominence over time. And natural language processing can be used to extract relevant themes from research papers, analyze the frequency, and track how these terms evolve. So by grouping papers that share similar themes or topics, AI can predict areas of interest that are gaining traction. We can mention some of these tools, VOS Viewer, SciByte. These tools use NLP techniques to identify key research themes and detecting emerging areas of interest by analyzing large data sets of academic literature. So predictive citation analysis, as I mentioned before, actually these models can be trained trained on historical citation data to predict which research areas are likely to become influential in the near future. And here we have predictive models, including random forest, neural networks, support vector machines that can be used to forecast which papers are likely to influence future research trends. Tools like Dimensions, Microsoft Academic Graph use, all these tools use predictive algorithms to identify the important, the influential papers and predict which topics are likely to see increased attention in the near future. Another interesting aspect is the sentiment and social media analysis. How AI can help us? AI can analyze the sentiment of citations. For example, it can track discussions and mentions of research on social media, on blogs, on other platforms outside of traditional academic citation networks. Increased social media discussions and positive sentiment towards certain research topics may indicate, for example, growing interest in those areas. So what are techniques? Sentiment analysis tools can examine online discussions about research topics to identify which ones are receiving attention and positive feedback. Altmetric, for example, Altmetric is a tool which uses AI to track mentions of research on social media, blogs, and news outlets, combining these insights with citation data to predict emerging trends in real time. We can also identify shifts towards collaborative or interdisciplinary research by analyzing citation patterns across different academic fields. AI can detect when a topic is gaining attention in multiple domains, suggesting that it's becoming an emerging interdisciplinary trend. Cross-disciplinary analysis can be done using AI to detect which research areas are beginning to show significant overlap across traditional separate fields, indicating that these topics may soon be the focus of interdisciplinary research efforts. Google Scholar, for instance, or Elsevier Scopus use AI to track citation patterns and map the growing intersection of research fields such as the convergence of technology and healthcare, or AI and ethics, helping predict new interdisciplinary areas of interest. So we can AI can help actually uncover gaps in certain research, indicating areas that are maybe unexplored. Tools like co-citation analysis and citation-based clustering can highlight areas where there is little existing research, but where emerging trends or new technologies may create a demand for exploration. CiteSpace is one of these amazing tools which can identify emerging gaps or hotspots, as we say, by analyzing the co-citation patterns of academic papers and highlighting areas with limited coverage but potential for growth. AI can track also new technologies and methodologies that are being incorporated into academic research, predicting areas where innovations are likely to have a significant impact. For example, the integration of AI or blockchain into various sectors may signal the emergence of related research fields. So these models can analyze the adoption of new technologies across disciplines and techniques and predict how they may influence new research topics. So by studying the trajectory of previous innovations, AI can offer insights into where the next big research breakthrough may occur. Of course, real-time monitoring, because we can process real-time data from academic databases and journals to identify the latest publications on hot topics. So tools like PaperPile, EndNote, Zotero allow researchers to track new papers in their field of interest. So AI can enhance these tools by analyzing incoming publications to forecast future research trends. So we're talking about tools which are highly effective in predicting emerging research trends. by analyzing tracking citation patterns, citation data, by identifying key themes and applying predictive models. How can improve writing quality? The structural coherence is something that we need to focus on, because AI tools can help us with the structural, the whole structure of our argumentation. For example, the logical flow, the contextual flow of our research. And AI has definitely made significant strides in assisting with many aspects of content analysis. But detecting and correcting complex issues like structural coherence, a logical flow, this remains a challenge, because we're going to see now what the strengths, but what are the limitations at the same time of these tools? Because all these tools have the strengths, but the weaknesses at the same time. So, of course, some tools can suggest improvements in organization by detecting issues like inconsistent paragraph structure or poorly placed citations, sections, or repetitive content. They can recommend reorganizing our content to ensure that it follows a logical progression, for example, from introduction to methodology, findings, and conclusion. It can help identify redundancies or overly repetitive content, etc. But what are the limitations? These tools can handle basic structural suggestions, but they struggle with more complex, what we call discipline-specific structures. For example, understanding the optimal placement of literature reviews, theoretical frameworks, or nuanced argument sections. This requires always human expert knowledge and is often beyond AI's current capabilities. AI tools cannot also truly understand how abstract concepts should be integrated or presented within a research paper, and they may not be able to fully grasp subtle shifts in an argument or theoretical approach that should shape the overall structure. And about the logical flow, of course, there are tools that flag weak transitions and suggest phrases to help link disparate ideas and make the progression more coherent. It can assist us with the overall flow of ideas, and can identify also inconsistent terminology or vague language that disrupts logical flow, recommending clearer, more precise wording that keeps the argument on track. This is a reality. But what are the limitations of these tools in terms of logical flow? That detecting logical inconsistencies within an argumentation chain is difficult for AI. While it may be able to spot basic contradictions, for example, conflicting statements within a single paragraph, it is less adept at recognizing deeper issues in reasoning or complex arguments that require a nuanced understanding of context, theory, and evidence. So complex argumentation is difficult for AI. Another issue is what we call contextual understanding. Logical flow often hinges on their ability to understand the broader context of their argument and how individual pieces of evidence contribute to the overall thesis. So AI lacks the critical thinking required to evaluate how well the evidence fits into the larger narrative, especially in complex interdisciplinary research. AI might miss subtleties like circular reasoning or gaps in argumentation, where a paper seems to argue in circles or fails to logically support its conclusions with evidence. AI can help us analyze sections of suggestions for improve the clarity of argumentation, how we can identify weak or vague claims, but it cannot evaluate the strength and depth of an argument in the same way as an expert in the field can. Research papers often involved, we all know about this, sophisticated theoretical frameworks or the application of complex methodologies, which AI tools are not equipped to fully understand or assess for logical consistency. In-depth analysis of arguments identifying if a claim is actually substantiated by evidence or evaluating whether a hypothesis is fully developed and justified, this remains a process that requires human input. And for conceptual flow, here advanced integration of ideas, especially when we want to connect disparate pieces of literature, theories, and findings, is a skill that requires expert insight into academic field. This AI does not possess this skill. For example, linking a theoretical framework with empirical findings often requires nuanced understanding and contextual judgment that AI lacks. So the integration of complex, multifaceted ideas in a coherent manner often requires a degree of synthesis that goes beyond simple text analysis. AI can propose specific revisions to improve the logical flow of a paper. There are some also sophisticated tools that can offer high-level suggestions for overall coherence, recommending reorganization of sections to improve our paper's overall logical progression. Yes, this is true. But what are the limitations? That while AI can provide structural suggestions, it is limited in terms of critical reasoning. So the AI may not be able to distinguish between revisions that improve logical consistency versus revisions that might compromise the paper's original intent or argument. AI might miss deeper issues of conceptual coherence that are not easily captured by algorithmic analysis, such as the way an argument relates to the broader field of study or the implications of the paper's findings for future research. For peer review, of course, here we can use these tools, but AI cannot replace the peer review process, where experts in the field can evaluate the coherence, the logical flow, the strength of arguments based on a deep understanding of the subject matter. And also, subjective judgment about the logical progression of ideas or the persuasive strength of an argument is often beyond AI's capacity. Human reviewers bring a level of expertise and critical thinking that AI tools are not equipped to replicate. Sorry, I will stop because I have to put the battery. Sorry for 2 minutes because the battery is off. Wait a minute. Okay, so what is the conclusion? That the AI can certainly assist with improving structural coherence and logical flow in research papers, but its effectiveness is somewhat limited by the complexity and depth of the academic content. So it excels in identifying basic structural issues, such as organizing paragraphs and ensuring transitions, but it struggles with more nuanced tasks, such as evaluating the strength of an argument, ensuring deep logical consistency, or synthesizing complex interdisciplinary ideas. Now, about specific academic formats, this can help us with how we can automate citation generation, because users can actually be assisted. This saves time. This helps with accuracy because it reduces the risk of human error in formatting citations, such as incorrect punctuation or missing information. It ensures also consistency citation style, the citation style conversion with the error detection and correction, of course, because it can flag incorrect capitalization, etc. It minimizes mistakes, of course. It helps us with instant feedback. The plagiarism prevention, very important, with the tools I mentioned, Turnitin and Copyscape. Provides style-specific writing guidance, and it can be highly effective, actually, in ensuring that writing adheres to specific academic citation styles. We have the AI-powered checkers, which help us with how we can improve our grammar syntax, how we can enhance our sentence structure, how we can improve our word choice and precision, and in every aspect of our writing, this can help us with the word choice also. We can suggest a more precise or appropriate word choices, replacing vague, repetitive, or overly complex words with clearer, more accurate alternatives. We can ensure consistency in tone and style, because many tools are designed to help writers maintain a consistent tone and writing style throughout their work. And these tools can check whether the writing is too formal, too informal, or inconsistent, and suggest improvements to match the academic tone required for scholarly writing. And of course, understand that consistency in tone and style ensures that the paper feels coherent and unified, making it easier for readers to follow. The consistent tone also ensures the professionalism of the writing, making it more suitable for academic publication. We can optimize punctuation. We can offer readability scores. Many tools provide readability scores based on algorithms such as Flesch, Kinskate, readability tests. And these scores, actually, what they're doing, they assess how easy or difficult a text is to read, based on factors like the sentence length, word complexity, or syntax. And these tools provide real time feedback and suggest ways to simplify or clarify the writing to improve readability. The impact on readability is that these actually AI tools can help academic writers assess whether the writing is accessible to their intended audience, suggesting adjustments to ensure that their work is readable without oversimplifying complex academic content. They avoid avoidance of overuse, passive voice, things like that. And the benefit in manuscript submission formative is, of course, time efficiency, the streamlined submission process, the error detection, the compliance with journal requirements, and the support for multiple journals. So many benefits that we have seen so far, but these tools, on the other hand, we mentioned some of their limitations. That's why we need to be very careful when we use these tools. And for example, before continuing, we can show some of these examples. GPT is very popular. The disadvantages of using this tool is that it lacks domain expertise. It's about inconsistency, variability. Sometimes there is the lack of citation. The citations may be inaccurate. Many times I have found, personally, I have found citations which are not correct. The lack of interpretability, the plagiarism concerns. Elicit is another tool which helps us find how two ideas are connected. It has two subtools, the paper discovery, which actually builds network from of papers for citations, and uses network analysis algorithms to analyze the network. We can find the most similar papers like this. And literature connector, which allows to enter two papers and will give us interactive visualization showing how they are connected by the literature. Scholarly is another interesting tool which help us with it actually contains searchable database of summary cards and help us with automatic extraction of references. The Research Rabbit is a tool that fast tracks our research. SciSpace, a platform that helps researchers to publish their work. ProofHub, Atlas is an amazing tool for data analysis. It also contains predictive analytics. What are, in general, these tools' limitations? There's a lack of a technical understanding, I mentioned before, the potential over-reliance. We should not over-rely on these tools, the limited customization, and the potential for data privacy concerns, of course, the limited support for multilingual submissions sometimes, etc. And of course, if we want to, for example, to buy a tool, we need to be aware of the strengths and weaknesses of each tool, because most AI tools cannot process visual input. We need to check if there are vague summaries and recommendations, if there is a lack of citation validation that I mentioned before, or if there is incomplete offensive information, the privacy risks, the copyright, legal ethics to consider, the bias. And now I want to share an example of what is happening in Europe. In Europe, Sweden is one of the most tech-savvy countries in the world. Sweden had integrated smart technologies, smartphones and mobile phones already in preschool age. So what happened recently? I was, I think 2 years before, I was in a conference in the European Union, it was organized by the European Union, and Sweden announced that they're going to ban the digital technology from the classroom, that they're going to return to old textbooks. We're talking about a period when the European Union now invests over 2 billion to education institutions who are going to implement AI projects in school. So that was a bomb. Not only Sweden, but also other countries like Finland and Netherlands are going to follow the same example. So we talk about now, if we are, there's a question if we are in a new, we're entering a new phase of what we call digitalization. Why this happened? Because during the pilot period of the use of these tools, the recent studies show that students have started to lose the handwriting skills, the research skills, the mathematical skills. We have the results of PISA, the national competition of PISA worldwide, which showed, especially after the COVID pandemic, very disappointing results in terms of the academic performance of students. And the experts say that the overuse, the over-reliance of technology is one of the main reasons of this. So, of course, banning something is not a solution. The task of educators is to navigate, and researchers, of course, the complex world of AI, ethically, responsibly. We're going to see some tips here, how we can use responsibly AI at all levels of education. The AI actually has the challenge that I mentioned before of contextual understanding, because it cannot understand the cultural and contextual differences, the subtlety implementation, the complexity of a language. AI cannot also assess some aspects that are actually human. I mean, it cannot evaluate creativity. How we can assess creativity and originality with these tools? The issue of plagiarism, for example, nowadays more and more universities have started to adopt oral assessments because there are some there are teachers who don't know if the essay is written by ChatGPT or the student. So oral assessments are becoming more and more popular nowadays. So definitely we talk about new methods of evaluation. And the question is, as I mentioned before, how these tools can evaluate creativity. The issue bias in these models, the trained data bias, the hidden prejudice, they handle structural organization, because how this can handle complex structures, etc. And at the same time, other challenges are related with the adaptability of the evolving language, the lack of feedback, sometimes the personalized feedback, and it's failing to recognize improvement potential in all aspects. So how to use AI tools in classroom at all levels of education? We need to introduce AI as an aid, not as a substitute, and start with some workshops on AI tools, encourage students to explore or research AI tools, try to incorporate this into the research writing process, or use it as a collaborative tool. But at the same time, we need to design assessments, design tasks and assignments which combine online and offline tasks. Assessments which can help students foster critical engagement. That would be a simulation, a debate, a brainstorming. For example, we use ChatGPT for brainstorming of ideas. Students can take these ideas, these prompts, and use this prompt in order to write an essay or to express their opinion, to think critically. So it's up to us how we will use these tools. But in any case, we need to create frameworks. All universities should create their own ethical framework about this use, framework for AI ethics discussions. Ethics review boards or ethics review committees should be there, and the researchers should be in contact with ethics review boards. And provide mentorship, of course, and offer comprehensive training and education. Establish clear ethical guidelines, best practices, create a supporting infrastructure for AI integration, foster a culture of innovation, collaboration, and monitor and evaluate AI tool effectiveness. The collaboration between AI and human writers depends on how we will develop from the beginning comprehensive AI literacy programs. AI literacy is needed. How we can integrate AI training into the curriculum. How we can teach research, data ethics, and AI accountability. This has to do with lifelong learning, continuous development. How we should address the ethical and legal implications of AI. And of course, how we can integrate AI into academic integrity policies. So universities, for example, can designate AI task force that can develop standard university protocols for dealing with the plagiarized work. They can integrate in class assignments, both handwritten, as I mentioned before, possibly oral assignments. They should place a stronger focus on the classroom human interactions, very important. For example, I mentioned before, we can take the prompts of a tool, and then we can organize a simulation, a debate, some more creative activities, artistic activities, everything that has to do with creativity, which can be combined very easily with technology. And AI ethics is a subfield of applied ethics, focusing on how these tools can help with the betterment of society, how this can improve the quality of life and the human rights. And of course, nowadays there is a gap. The gap between research ethics and AI research, because so far the standards that we have, the AI standards, rely on ethical values more than rather than concrete legal regulations. So what is needed more research ethics boards and committees that I mentioned before. We need to know the principles of the AI ethics, which are related with validity, effectiveness, safety, security, transparency, diversity, inclusive fairness, how AI should be inclusive for all, the accessibility, universal design, responsibility, the informed consent, very important, the benefits and risk assessment, and all this related with the Belmont framework, the Belmont principles of autonomy, beneficence, how this will not harm the others. This will not harm the environment that I mentioned in the beginning, the environmental faulting. The no maleficence is another principle, the principle of justice. And There are some reports, some frameworks that the scholars need to explore. We don't have enough. We need more global frameworks, but we have already from UNESCO a report on ethics in AI, and also of Microsoft, UN also, or you can also explore. It's a very good ethical framework, which was designed by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which actually tried to develop a set of principles to promote the responsible stewardship for trustworthy AI. So trustworthy AI, for example, in Europe, the guidelines for trustworthy AI Europe is that AI should be lawful, respecting all applicable laws, ethical and robust. The human agency and oversight, the social and environmental well-being, very important aspect, and the equitability, because this has got to do, of course, with the fundamental rights of justice, of democracy, the principle of prevention of harm, the principle of respect for human autonomy, the principle of fairness. There are three main camps in the controversy: the techno-skeptics, the digital utopians, and the beneficent AI movements. The philosopher Luciano Floridi said that Copernicus showed that we are not at the center of the universe, Darwin showed that we are not at the center of a biosphere, Freud showed that we are not at the center of a psychosphere, and Turing showed that we are not at the center of an infosphere. All these cumulative blows of these discoveries didn't happen, of course, in one day, in one year. This took centuries in order for the humanity to embrace these new breakthroughs. And of course, remember that the main difference between AI and human intelligence, and that's why human intelligence can never, AI can never replace human intelligence, it's because human intelligence is domain general. AI is domain specific. AI is a tool, not a threat. And the second part of my presentation, I will try to be brief here, is how these tools can help us at all stages. I mentioned before the academic writing, but this starts with research ideation, the question formulation, the gaps that I mentioned before. We can find, we can discover the outdated and replicated research, methodological limitations, some missing data types. Some tools for literature review, Research Rabbit, Cite AI, ELSI, tools for meta-analysis, for trend mapping and visualizations, disconnected papers, lit maps, Allen LLP, Publish or Perish. We can use AI to generate interdisciplinary research questions. Why? Because we can use AI to summarize and synthesize existing knowledge. We can reframe existing questions. We can track emerging trends as before, and we use techniques like analogy generation, random intersections, some tools for research question generation, lit maps, Jenny, SciSpace, consensus. I can give you the list at the end. Keen.io, AI Dungeon. Can AI validate the originality of a research hypothesis? This is a common question that researchers are asking. What an AI can do? AI can help us with the literature search review I mentioned before, with similarity analysis, because it can compare our hypothesis with existing literature using semantic similarity models to detect how close our idea is to existing ones. With the contextual framing, because it can help us refine our hypothesis to emphasize what is novel about, or it suggests ways to approach it from a new angle. But what AI cannot do is it cannot guarantee originality. AI cannot access all research. I mean, there is some published work, there is paywall data, or internal research. It doesn't have judgment like a domain expert to assess the impact or novelty within a specific academic field. Subtle theoretical and methodological nuances that make a hypothesis original may be missed by AI, and AI cannot know what others are currently working on or plan to publish in the near future. We should use it as a research assistant, for example, to summarize, to search, to compare, then rely on human experts, on peer feedback, or academic methods to assess the deeper originality and significance of our hypothesis. Idea and similarity checkers, IRIS, Rightful, some tools. These models can help us refine a vague research idea by recommending methodologies, by clarifying and narrowing our topic, by suggesting relevant theories, but also drafting preliminary research questions or hypotheses. So we can use this literature review tools, so at the same time explore comprehensive research databases, visual interactive tools like open knowledge maps, and engage, of course, academic communities. We can summarize, synthesize large volumes through extractive summarization. All these types of summarization that we can see here. What is extractive is that it identifies and selects the most important sentences from a text. Abstractive summarization, which actually generates new sentences that paraphrase and condense the meaning of the original text, like a human would. The thematic clustering or concept mapping. It groups papers by themes, keywords, or research focus areas. The cross-paper synthesis, which compares and combines findings across multiple papers, and custom Q&A over paper collections, because this can let you ask questions directly across many documents. Of course, you need to know these types of bias, like training data bias, because AI models learn from existing data sets, which may reflect publication data bias or language bias or disciplinary bias. The coverage bias, AI tools only index or access papers from certain databases or publishers. The algorithmic bias, because this means that there are algorithms which may prioritize popular or highly cited papers, potentially overshadowing narrow or niche research. The confirmation bias, if you use AI tools to confirm your hypothesis, you might unconsciously phrase queries or interpret results in ways that support the preconceptions. So AI can reinforce your existing ideas by showing similar work and downplaying contradictory evidence. The temporal bias. AI may rely heavily on recent papers or older, highly cited works, missing emerging trends and cultural regional basis. So how we can mitigate this bias is the best solution, the best strategy is to use multiple tools and databases to broaden the coverage. Try to combine AI-assisted search with manual checks, of course. Be critical of the results. Explicitly search for negative or contradictory evidence. And some tools to detect and mitigate bias is Dimensions, Evolve, Meta, Iris. Strategies, I mentioned before, is to combine multiple sources to set alerts for new research. This can help detect contradictions. AI, of course, through mapping research clusters, mining literature reviews. For methodological design, it can help us design also experimental or survey-based studies with pilot testing and feedback, with pre-analysis planning. It can help us with sample size and power analysis, with survey experiment design. Of course, at the beginning with the hypothesis generation. With all these aspects. And some tools that we can mention here is Qualtrics, Survey Sparrow for surveys, G-Power, a huge list. The best practices for using AI to simulate theoretical models is to understand, of course, the model clearly, to prepare high-quality data, to choose the right AI approach, validate, verify the results, iterative improvement, use explainable AI techniques. Some tools and frameworks for simulate theoretical models, TensorFlow, deep learning for differential equations, Simulate, Mathematica, OpenAI Gym, scientific machine learning ecosystem, sharply additive explanations for visualization, ParaView, Spotlight, TensorBoard. I don't know if you have used these tools. Maybe we can discuss about this. AI can help identify potential confounding variables. Also, it can help us with the pattern recognition data, with causal inference tools, the literature mining for non-confinders. And there are tools for this, DoY, cause of next. You can use it for to optimize sample size and variable calculations, so simulation, scenario testing, adapting Bayesian designs. Examples of AI enhanced tools, GPower, I mentioned before, is used free software for power analysis, the Python libraries, of course, for simulation, WebPower, online tools for power analysis, sample size calculations, platform for clinical trial design. For data analysis, for collection, this helps us to pre-process, clean, structured data, so it can help us in all stages, data ingestion, cleaning, transformation, validation, Pandas, Open, Refine, Trifacta, Data Wrangler is some of these tools, NLP structuring tools, Spicy, LangChain, TextBlob for image and document structuring, for missing data and outlier detection. Feature engineering also, feature tools, data robot. It can assist with qualitative coding, thematic analysis, with theme detection, summarization. The limitations is what I said before, the context sensitivity, the depth, the lack of transparency and trust, the ethical issues. Amazing tools for qualitative research. NVivo, it's an amazing tool. I suggest you to explore this. Dovetail, Atlas T. For qualitative is this one, Quirkos, Delve for custom exploratory analysis, Matic, Reframer, general purpose machine learning libraries, TensorFlow, stats models, no-code, low-code tools like Data Robot, for visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Anodot, specialized anomaly detection tools. Common AI techniques uses clustering with hierarchical clustering, dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection algorithm, code-based tools for business. How reliable AI generates statistical analysis. This is another big issue. Of course, these tools, this analysis offer clean, well-structured data, the transparent workflows, but the reliability is at risk because of the code. The famous code of AI experts now is what we call garbage in, garbage out. If the data you use is poor, the poor will be the outcome. So remember this, garbage in, garbage out. The misuse of statistical methods, the lack of contextual understanding, hallucinations, black box output, and always need what are the best practices for reliable AI-generated analysis, to always verify the domain expert, to use interpretable models and open source tools, to check for statistical assumptions, request confidence intervals, effect sizes, not just p-values, and look for reproducible code or netbooks. So data science, statistical programming tools, Jupyter Notebooks, RStudio, and no-code, low-code platforms. With the structure I mentioned before, which can help us with all the stages of our paper, abstract, introduction, methodology, results, discussion, conclusions, the citations, writing, drafting assistance, the scaffolding, the figures. For everything, we have these tools for editing, and the prompting. Actually, prompting is an art. In order to get better results, the ethical risk, confidentiality, and then the misinterpretation and fabrication. The best practices is to use AI as an assistive tool, not a replacement of your own critical work. Always cite and disclose. What I want to say is, as here a suggestion from my experience, that researchers should always check about the guidelines of a journal or the guidelines of an institution. There are some journals that do not allow the use of AI tools. So first we check if these tools are allowed by the journal. If they are allowed, then we need to always make a citation and disclose how we use the tools, which tools we used, and how we use these tools. Create a citation and integrate a section, for example, the method sections or discussion sections. You can dedicate some space in order to describe how you use these tools and why you use this tool, and give the exact prompt you got from, for example, if you use ChatGPT. But always be in line with the guidelines of the paper. Follows institutions, publishers' guidelines I mentioned before, protect sensitive data, be mindful of bias, the plagiarism detection, you can use these tools, Unicheck, Turnitin, in this way we can ensure transparency in our manuscript, in our research paper, because we disclose AI use explicitly, we describe how this was used, of course, we try not to avoid over-reliance. Tools for documenting and managing AI use in research. For submission of our paper, finally, we can simulate the peer review process. For my draft, we can ask AI to critique specific sections. We can request instructor review report. Any tools in this, and this can help us choose also the most appropriate journal for our work, because it can analyze some manuscript content, match with journal scopes, consider the impact on this, and check for journal quality and legitimacy. So we can ensure that our manuscript meets submission formatting guidelines using AI by verifying structural elements, by checking and adjusting citation reference style, and our future success hinges on our ability to embrace AI and use it for good. Thank you very much for your attention and for any question here to discuss anything.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your untied efforts giving the AI in educational system. And it's a very nice and informative session, ma'am. I'm feeling like if some students also might join, it will be very useful for them also. Yes, ma'am. It's a fantastic and fabulous talk, ma'am. So I request anyone from the participant side, guests, respected guests.
Or they can share their experience if they use it. Yes, of course.
Yes, ma'am. This is Dr. Madhu Sharma from Haridwar, India. Ma'am, thank you very much for a wonderful, fabulous presentation. My question is that we allow students to use AI tools for assignments. Where should be the boundary be drawn? Like,
you talk about the boundaries. We talk about the university students.
Yeah, ma'am. For the university students.
Okay, I mentioned before about the methods of assessment, first of all. Nowadays, oral assessments are becoming more and more popular. So what we should do is first to develop, as I said before, comprehensive AI literacy programs. So we start from this. Of course, we encourage students to explore these tools, to discover these tools and use these tools. But first, we start with AI literacy programs and explain them about academic integrity. The first step is to define a clear purpose. AI should be a learning assistant, not a shortcut. And communicate clearly that the goal is to deepen understanding, not to bypass effort. Set the boundaries. As you talk about boundaries, we can, for example, use these tools for brainstorm ideas, for grammar and help style, for structuring arrays, I mentioned about documentation, for practicing questions. This is allowed uses. Restricted uses could be the full assignment generation, or something which bypasses critical thinking, of course, something which is plagiarism. We need to require students to decide when and how also they use these tools, just like other sources. That's why it has become obligatory in a research paper now. And another issue is that we can ask students to reflect on AI outputs. For example, promote critical thinking. What did you agree with? What did you change? Encourage them to compare, for example, AI-generated responses with their own reasoning. The assessment judgments that I mentioned before has to do with use oral assessment or project-based tasks or in-class activities to check genuine understanding, or mix a traditional assessment with creative, collaborative, or applied projects that AI cannot easily replicate. And in general, build AI literacy. This means teach students how AI works. What are the strengths? What are the limitations? What are the biases? All the types of bias. Help them develop skills to evaluate outputs critically instead of accepting them blindly. I showed before some ethical frameworks, some reports that you can suggest them to check about the UNESCO or UN. Frame AI as a tool that requires responsibility and encourage actually values of honesty, of accountability, and respect for intellectual work. So in practice, this means allowing AI, but within guided boundaries. For example, you can say you can use AI to brainstorm or check your grammar, but you must write your own analysis. Or you may generate practice questions, but your final essay must be in your own words. So things like that. Everything has to do with how we can embed human-centric values, the values of accountability, of inclusivity, of transparency, and how we should maintain the human loop systems, the human oversight and decision-making. Because if students started to over-rely on this, we will lose the human oversight. So we can use AI also in humanitarian applications. I mean, we can predict, for example, crisis. We can optimize a delivery. We can enhance a disaster response. Build AI systems that respect the cultural context, for example. It's up to us how we will use this and how we will guide our students to use this thing. So automation in AI should serve humanity and not the way around. So the balance comes from ensuring technological efficiency is always guided by ethical responsibility and compassion. And students must build this academic integrity in the classroom. It's up to us, yes. I mentioned the case of Sweden, the example of Sweden, that they already, it's banned, smartphones, digital technologies, they're not all anymore in preschool age in Sweden. And they return to old textbook. Of course, this is not the solution, but this is happening in order, to prevent these results that I mentioned before, that students have started to lose their handwriting skills, the critical thinking, the creativity. It's up to us not to lose the game. This is what I want to say.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I have
Yes,
three
yeah.
questions.
Yes,
I have
yes.
3 questions.
Yes, of course.
The reason is up to now, you are talking in terms of from the side of AI in teaching.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful talk, very, very eye-opening. But I feel if you have spoken something on the ethical side, from the human side, human value. One example, I think it is almost a preface for tomorrow's lecture. I am able to see you who are talking, so my attention focused towards you. Let us assume for a minute you are not there, I don't see you. It is only on the telephone or whatever it is. I will not be that serious. Even at the age of retirement. In a school or a college, a teenager with wavering minds and all those activities, he will never be serious to sit in front of a machine. There's nothing else. There's no sharing of the feelings. That is the drawback. I mean, I'm just thinking another example to supplement it. Because we have yesterday's program put on YouTube. In fact, that's what I requested Aruna not to put it. The moment you put it on YouTube, see today, participation has dropped about 35%. 1/3 of the population did not come. Because the reason is, they think, yeah, I can see while I'm lying down, and it will come immediately on the web page, which is also a part of AI. So that means the seriousness of attending. I mean, as I said, when we were youngsters, and there is a conference, we used to sit and very curiously trying to observe and make a note of the presenter or a teacher in the class. That is the thing I feel this AI type of phenomenon, new awareness will really destroy it. There's another thing. This is my comment. I'm just, please take it as a positive comment. When you are presenting, whether you prepared before or not, as a situation comes, you use your experience, your wisdom, your knowledge, and try to mend your talk or try to mend transferring the knowledge to your students when you are present. I mean, like here, although you are not, you are in Greece, but I can see whenever the situation comes, you don't have to go into your notes and you don't read that one, but you use your judgment and the audience response and you rephrase so that it can be communicated effectively. Whereas a machine doesn't do that. I mean, I just switch on a tape recorder. Once I record it and tape record, there's no way I can just sleep. Just keep on doing anything. And I mean, this is how I feel the seriousness a machine will do. I mean, like people working from home. Nowadays, after they are recalling back to work, they don't want to go because they're human being. Anybody is basically a lazy person. So once you get to that one easiness, it becomes diluted on and on and on. Can you please comment your view on the ethics from the human perspective, human values perspective, rather than on the machine side? Thank you.
Thank you very much for these very meaningful questions. You mentioned about teacherless classrooms, actually, and I mentioned the example of UK. We have the first pilot school. We're waiting to see the results. Okay, we can imagine how what AI teacher classrooms could look like. We have tutors which deliver personalized lessons at each student space, which is good. We have adaptive learning platforms. We have virtual assistants answering students' questions instantly. So many potential benefits. We achieve the personalized learning. We achieve the scalable education because we can reach areas with teacher shortages. We have data-driven insights because AI can track progress, it can identify gaps, it can suggest interventions in the classroom. Daily and night availability can help students anytime, anywhere. But on the other hand, I mentioned that this is promising and scaring, these AI teacher classrooms, because there is a loss of human connection. I mean, teachers don't just deliver content, but they provide mentorship. They provide empathy and social skills development. This is very important, the human interaction, and also what will happen interaction between students. The ethical risks which are related with the loss of human connection with reduced cultural sensitivity, with data privacy issues, with the over-reliance on automation, because emotional intelligence, the critical thinking, the creativity may suffer. The question of equity, because not all students have access to internet or safe learning environments. So what I would suggest is always a balanced model. We're waiting to see the results, how this will evolve. But I think that instead of removing teachers, because all students ask me whether AI will replace teachers, I would say that AI could not replace teachers, but teachers who don't know AI will be replaced by teachers who know AI. So it is important to embrace these new technologies, but in responsible ways. Teachers can become, for example, mentors, facilitators, can become emotional guides. And human educators now should focus more, and we think we need from now on focus more on moral values, on teamwork, on empathy, on project-based learning, because for my opinion, personally, I believe that in the next 5 years, we will have students, graduated students, all we know how to use technology, or to use AI. But it will be very rare, according to me, it's my personal view, to find people, individuals with moral values. This will be very, very rare. So what is needed is the balance, the human oversight, because AI supports, but decisions remain always human-led. Otherwise, we will lose the game. The ethical guidelines ensure also always the transparency, and train students not to cheat, for example. And the student voice involves students in shaping how AI is used in their learning. This is very important to involve as a student voice. AI should collaborate with teachers, with students. So an AI-only classroom, I think, may deliver content efficiently, but it risks stripping away the humanitarian dimension of education. The best path is likely a hybrid model, where AI handles personalization and scalability, while teachers nurture creativity, ethics, and social connection. You know that the experts of the fifth industrial revolution say that the fourth industrial revolution has failed. Has failed because we have focused a lot, we have ignored the human factor. So the designers of the curriculum of the fifth industrial revolution now focus on how we will integrate the human and AI collaboration. This is the main focus and the priority now of all experts. So if we develop, for example, international standards and ethical guidelines for AI in humanitarian contexts, if we encourage multi-stakeholder governance, for example, governments, NGOs, technologies, local communities, if we treat individuals and students as partners in innovation, not passive recipients, students must be active consumers of technology, the systems, not passive recipients, not passive consumers. And if we keep the human experience, relationships of compassion and empathy at the center of AI-driven systems, then I think we will be able to go along with machines. This is my opinion. So this has to do with ethical design of our lesson plans, of our institutions, of our frameworks, how to embed human-centric values, and use frameworks to assess the impact on human rights, the impact of privacy, the impact of dignity, decision-making, and maintain always the human-in-the-loop systems, where lives, where rights, where dignity are at stake. This is my opinion. And of course, I've mentioned about how now companies fire every day workers. This is about socioeconomic balance. To balance, we need to invest in reskilling and upskilling for affected workers, support social safety nets to cushion this disruption, and of course, create new forms of meaningful work which align with social good. So alignment with social good, the socioeconomic balance should be also a main priority. That's my opinion.
Madam, the session on AI is really very good, very informative. And in the presentation itself, you narrated that AI is an aid, not a substitute. So that is the content of it. And the applications of it is already we are using directly or indirectly. In applications like ChatGPT has become a part of information searching. My opinion is that the AI is voluminous data is involved in grouping up for a decision within a short time. The only tool is that we have to depend on machine. But final judgment has to be rest with the decision maker. So there must be an AI as an aid and decision by human. Thank you, madam, for a very good lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi,
I
madam.
agree.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I would like to congratulate you for that extensive and elaborative, very educative session, madam. It was so good, so enriching, so uplifting. In fact, every slide and every conversation or almost every sentence that you presented was so touching. And whatever doubts basically I had, you have cleared almost all of it. Just one thing I just wanted to ask, like you know that peer reviewing is one thing which is like human based. So human beings are doing the peer reviewing part for the journals, articles, basically. So do you think that AI is going to replace that as well in the near future?
Actually, I mentioned some things about this, that AI can help us with many things to peer review. It can select the appropriate reviewers. It can help with the whole structure of the paper. It can make our the task of reviewers faster, definitely. The strengths in general of peer review is that it encourages collaboration, critical thinking, that it provides diverse perspectives. I think that the AI-based review is faster, of course, but the limitation is that it cannot fully assess the nuance, what I said before, the contextual understanding, the nuanced arguments, the complex argumentations, or the originality of ideas. It cannot fully assess creativity. There is also algorithmic bias. This lack empathy. On the other hand, you know that the human or expert peer review is something that provides deeper value-driven feedback. It can assess also higher order thinking or ethics or emotional impact. Of course, what we could say again is what I said before, the balanced model. A strong system, a peer review system, could use all three layers. The first one could be AI. AI can help us with automated check, for example, for structure, for plagiarism, for grammar, for factual consistency. We can use this as the first step. Second step, we can use the peer review in human ways. I mean, we can provide perspectives and collaboration, improving critical engagement. And the final pass should always be the human view in the way that we need to ensure depth, fairness, and personalized guidance. For example, give an example. Step 1, students submit, for example, a draft. AI provide feedback on technical aspects. Step 2, peers review what they do. They add comments on clarity, on persuasiveness, on creativity. And finally, the teacher's review focuses on deeper insight, on originality, on ethical and humanitarian aspects. If you have my opinion, maybe peer review will be replaced by AI, but it won't have the same quality. Because I see here that the peer review has been assisted a lot by AI, and AI can help a lot with peer review, practically with all steps. But the quality of the human peer review will not be the same, because we cannot assess, as I said before, the originality, the depth of arguments, the nuanced argumentation, the deeper insights, the higher order thinking, the ethical and humanitarian aspect. This cannot be assessed by AI. This is my opinion. But there is a big risk that it will be replaced by AI. Yes, this is real.
Sure.
This is true.
Thank you, madam, for that clarification. And one more, maybe a query I can say. What are the tools for the teachers and students you recommend? AI tools for teachers and students?
It depends on what level we're talking about. Primary, secondary education, what for data analysis for university students? For what level we're talking about?
I'm talking about the university PG level, PG students, postgraduate.
Okay, I mentioned before, I gave an exhaustive list For each stage, for example,
Yes, of course,
for
I've
literature
seen.
review, we have connected the papers, Litmaps, Elicit, CiteSpace, VOS for the citation 3, very popular, EndNote, Zotero, Mendeley, of course, the GPT, Gemini. For every stage, you need the appropriate tool. To review a separate one, for discussions, for all methodological sections, for data analysis. I mentioned Atlas Teach, an amazing tool, amazing, it has predictive analytics, and Vivo for qualitative analysis. Qualitative and Vivo is also a very good tool. I can give the whole list, but for each stage, you have different tools that you can use, as long as you know the strengths and weaknesses I mentioned before of each of these tools.
Sure, madam. Thank you so much for that very elaborate and quick answer. And just one more, this is not a query actually. I'm just sharing my personal experience. Of course, whenever we give assignments or any homeworks or any kind of projects to students, the kind of strategy what I am using is at the initial phase, we allow them to learn it the traditional way. So when we learn it the proper way, it is said that we make certain neural connections, and those neural connections, when we do things practically and manually and learning it actually in the right way, it creates or it makes certain neural connections which stays with us forever. The first time that they're learning it, we go with the traditional method, but once they have mastered that, we go with the AI method. Like we tell them that of course these are the tools which are meant for your own use, but we don't completely rely on that. Of course you can take help and then further cross check. So that is your duty, that you have to do it ethically. So this is how I practice like using AI tools for my students. Just that I just wanted to convey. Thank you, madam, for that wonderful session and doubt clarification. Thank you so much.
Next question. Come on, you should ask. She is responding very nicely. It's a lot of questions are there. She really is an authority in teaching. So you should take this opportunity. Madam, I have one suggestion. If you could write and submit a paper manuscript for this, SITVI has a journal. It will be really useful. Yeah, you can actually talk to her and please submit a journal article. And it is really, really very interesting. And not necessarily you, all the others also presenters, because this is a special lecture series. So please submit manuscripts for her journal, and it will be, the information will be dispersed to the large crowd, entire academia.
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, actually, SITVI Foundation, in collaboration with SSRD, SITVI Society for Research and Development, we had launched a international journal, ma'am, namely International Journal of Science, Engineering, Arts and Management, which got ISSN number also 2 months back, ma'am. So in continuation with our regular tasks, we wish to publish the manuscripts also. It's a peer-reviewed journal, and I welcome you as an editorial board also. I'll be sending you the invitation and proposal also, ma'am. Thank you so much. And as sir said, if you could able to send your paper, it's my privilege to publish that paper in our journal.
Yes, that would be very honored for me. Yes, of course, I would send something about ethics and AI. This is what yes, I wish to send.
I request anyone from participant side who wish to interact with Rania ma'am, it is highly welcome. Still, we have 7 more minutes. Ma'am will be with us. Afterwards, ma'am will be in Greece and we will be in India.
One more thing to the speaker. Please attend on the last day. On 23rd, we would invite all those people who have given presentations to be available. At the end of the talk, we left some time because people may say we want to digest what we heard so we can make a note of our questions. So they can ask anybody, you, me, or the other presenters. So please attend on 23rd. Is it right, Aruna? 23rd.
Yes, sir. I'll be sending special invitations for that also.
Yeah. So please available in your calendar to attend.
Ma'am, please
Yes,
make
yes.
available on that day, 23rd, for a while, for interacting with all the speakers, all the 7 speakers on that day.
Amazing. Yes, yes, of course. I will be there.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you. And I request Dr. Madhu Sharma, ma'am, could you please speak a few words as a concluding remarks of today's session? Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Good evening, all of you. Am I audible?
You are audible. I don't know, somebody is also talking. I thought you.
Sorry, as my brother has come from Hyderabad and he has put on the television and watching this, and I'm also sitting in the same room. So
Okay. Yeah, we were a little bit puzzled. Again, it's a last chance before.
I'm okay. I'm moving in different rooms so that I can speak properly.
So please, somebody have questions to ask her because she's moving to another room. So she can, before she concludes, please, if anybody have any questions, all those who have asked before, they can also ask. This is the opportunity.
Professor Rao also joined with us from Delhi. We welcome you, sir. Please interact with the gathering and with Rania ma'am also. Rambabu, sir. Okay, Madhu ma'am, you can continue, ma'am.
I thank you, Rania ma'am, on all the delegates and all the guests present in today's session. It was really a wonderful and very informative session. So I congratulate Rania madam and thank you, Rao sir and Aruna madam for giving all of us giving opportunity to present our thoughts and our views and different topics. So thank you very much, ma'am. And I congratulate Sidvi Foundation, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I could extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Rania ma'am for extending her valuable time with us, for spending your time with us and exploring your ideas, novel ideas and new technologies with the gathering and the participants. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and our proposal. Be with us, ma'am.
It's interesting to see when I saw on my laptop on the left side, I have this a strong believer in AI from the machine point of view. And on the extreme right, I have the next presenter going to be tomorrow's presenter who strongly believes, I mean, my vote is towards her, who believes it is the human mind. Human neurons will not be dominated by any artificial neurons. So when I saw both of them in my frame, both extremes, it was really funny and interesting. And
the last day
possible-
we'll have a debate on this.
if possible, please attend her talk also. He talks about, you can yourself briefly tell Rajesh, I don't want to steal words from you, so that that lady from Greece may attend your talk.
So we might be talking about two different extreme things. Tomorrow I'm going to like throw light on as to how we can get out of the AI addiction or the digital addiction that we are all of us are facing these days. And it's quite difficult to come out of that and to get into normal life. But at the same time, it's like the mindful decision that we have to take, and we have to decide in every move of our life is what is going to decide. Finally, I can say, but when we have both the two extreme conditions, only then we can appreciate life. So that is what I can conclude. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. It is only our perception, and balancing things in a right way is what is more important. And I appreciate the well-versed and extensive talk that ma'am gave today. It was so eye-opening, it was so enriching and enlightening. Thank you once again, madam. It was so good hearing you.
Thank you very much. I think the last day, as I said before, we'll have an interesting discussion between the speakers and expose the different opinions.
Whether we
Yes.
accept or not, AI is going to be our need in future. But only the thing is, the human decision finally should dominate the AI outcomes. But we have to depend on AI because of the information dumping. For each and every application, is for academicians, for engineering, for traffic controls. We are already in that. We cannot come out of it. Only the thing is, the human judgment is to be given high priority. That will be there because AI is for humans, not humans are for AI. Is my opinion. It's an excellent lecture. Thank you.
In fact, the comment is given by my brother. He is my Surya Narayana is my brother. Originally, I planned to talk something in making glass out of steel using artificial intelligence. In fact, my personal, I have done a lot of work on that area. In that one, it is very good. Everything has its own position. It's a place in the welfare of the society. In fact, we're using neural network. We made different compositions of making steel, glass out of steel. In fact, within one day, and supercomputer running in, we were able to predict 1600, this is a fact, 1600 compositions to make different processes of making glass of steel. Once we have that one, we can't do, and the human thinking has to come. We put in front of us and we dissect it. The computer, what it does, AI, what it does, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, all those things. It doesn't matter what it is, it's only a number game it produces. After that one, our thinking finalized to about 16 very good candidates for making glass out of steel. And then it was so expensive to make. We made 4. Actually, we produced 4 steels, which are glass. And when we tested it, only 1, that too about 60% or 70% successful, a glassy nature. So what I'm saying is I'm not putting down AI. It is needed. There is no way we can, human mind cannot do so many iterations. Any possibility next time I will, some other time, if I have, I will give it that talk. because it is a little bit more mathematics involved. So that's why I didn't talk this time. Because unless I talk some mathematics, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why it is. So human intervention has to be there, human judgment. The day a computer or whatever it is, an external synthetic, I call it a synthetic, which is a machine, not a human being, start thinking its own and making judgment, the humanity is at risk of being wiped out. If once a machine can think of its own, why should it have to depend on us? That is actually a lot of a paradigm question amongst scientists. That's why for one gentleman, he is a real scientist who believed in traditional value. In fact, he was once an awardee, honorary in the Sidvi Foundation. He said, I start with my traditional Vedic belief and translate it to modern society. That is his noble phrase, Sanatana to Sanutana. I mean, unfortunately, only Indians can understand it. Sanatana means traditional old wisdom. Sanutana means modern, your AI. So from old wisdom to the modern. Then I said to him, you are 50% correct, 50% you are not. I rephrased it. The reverse is also true. That means people who mature themselves with Sanatana, that means modern, they are going back into the reality, ultimate reality of the ancient wisdom. So in spite of the easiness, we got it from artificial neural network. I mean, AI, whatever, one of the AI things. We have to put our own wisdom into that. Then only there will be a fruitful success will come. And another example, the danger I'm telling, people who really believe in AI can predict. As I said, 1,600 recipes we cooked, out of which only one. And we found out the reason for it. That's a different story. That machine cannot detect it. Why we failed, only to 60% successful. So in the analysis, sometimes you can predict, but in small letters, it says you can extend your predictions to a small degree of future estimation. But people won't do that one. They simply try a straight line like a graph and they say, we predict so far, but it may not work. But this danger is there, that human intervention, human neurons cannot stop. I'm just telling another thing. In my, you may think I have teeth, I lost all my teeth. I have this beautiful, I spent $60,000 and I had implants, but still I have trouble. So the natural phenomena cannot be displaced or replaced 100%. But at the same time, we need modernity, modern vision of life to accelerate the progress. So we cannot stop the progress. I'm sorry I took liberal. Every day I'm talking too much, although I start with a assumption today I will not talk. But the moment I come, I get excited and I talk. So please forgive me if I said something wrong. But this is what, in fact, there is a lot of these things for me. I have been trained. I attended business school. The business school, I have no good opinion on them. They are actually taking us into wrong direction. There is a thing called human factor engineering. It is one of the subjects. I'm also an MBA. So it is a human factor engineering. They talk only this. In the classroom, I ask the same thing. I told the teacher, your job will be gone because I can hear on a computer. Then she said, well, what our discussion in the class will stay here itself because she doesn't want to lose her job. So everyone has its own place. So with this one, I'm only bringing my view of this one. And if possible, please attend tomorrow's talk also. And with that one, it's a wonderful, wonderful talk. One of the best talks I heard. In fact, when I proposed my helping hand to Aruna, it's really this week the speakers are distinguished speakers whom we selected, and really it is true. On 1, 2, 3, you are third. Very, very distinguished talk. So with that one, I hope everything will continue because all others are also distinguished, experienced teachers. Thank you very much, Aruna. I took liberty. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you. Special thanks to you, the speaker of today's talk.
Thank you very much for your valuable feedback and comments. Thank you. Dr. Aruna, you're muted.
We can close, I think.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your wonderful and amazing, fabulous, fantastic speech today. And we had learned a lot from this new era, also artificial intelligence. Thanks a lot, ma'am, once again. And with the permission of speakers and guest participants, let us conclude this event by singing national anthem. I request all the participants and guests and speakers, please stand before your devices to join your tones. Sing. Request Rania ma'am to please listen our Indian national anthem. Ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm starting. Janagana Manadinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidata Punjab
Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utpala Vanga
Vindhya Himalaya
Yamuna Ganga
Ganga Uchala
Jalataranga
Baname Jage Tava Shubhashish Mage Jaya Gatha
Janagana Mangaladayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidata Jaya He
Jaya He Jaya
Jaya
He
Jaya
Jaya Jaya Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Thank you once again, all the gathering, all the stalwarts, all the shiny stars. Thanks a lot. And, I'm expecting the same interest and the same gathering tomorrow. I request Rania ma'am also please join with us, ma'am. And on the last day, that is 23rd of this month, I'll be sending the special invitation again to all the speakers and guests. So try to make yourself free at the time for a while with us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And now officially I'm ending this event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.